Good morning. It is Monday, July 31st, the last day of the month. Got a little bit of music from Harris Heller keeping us company this morning. The market is about to open, so let's go straight into the market. As you can see, I'm set up here. I am trading shares of AI today. We got a pre-market sitting at around $40.01. The market bell is about to go. I still have one limit sell set here for $40.78. This is one of the first things that I'm hoping to see today is the price shoot up to $40.78 and close this out at a profit. So let's just keep an eye on that. In the meantime, I'm going to zoom in on this early morning sell, and I'm going to get ready to scoop up a trade here. Let's go about 250 shares there. Oh, it's already bouncing up today. Might have missed that one. Typically AI drops first thing at the opening bell, like you saw here. And sometimes if it drops down low enough, I can catch a buy-in, because inevitably there is a little bit of a spike up in the morning. Here we go. It's starting to climb. Let's see if we can hit that $40.78 level. Close out my first order. Might not have done it right there. We'll see. Now let's keep an eye on the volume here. What have we got for volume? Got about 50,000 shares on the opening bar there. Okay, we're still pushing up. We're getting close to my sell limit, $40.50, $40.54. A little bit more to go. $40.61. Come on, keep climbing. You're so close now. $40.70, 74. All right, there we go. My sell limit has been filled. All right, so now I can go back and get ready. Now that I have that trade capital back, I can document this here. Okay, so I made $40.78 on that lot of shares, and I made $40.78 on that lot of shares. All right, so let's work this out here. 40.30 times 100. All right, and those cost me. So minus 40.30. All right, so I made $48 on that trade. Now on the second one here, all right, I'm up $109 on this trade. So far so good. I got one more sell limit order for 42.67 whenever the market climbs up that high, but we are moving on. As you can see now, my cash balance is 50,268. Oh, sorry, that's my total balance. As far as cash goes, available to trade, we're at $40,050. Now, the market just continues to rocket up this morning. So this is not normally seen. This does happen once in a while. But normally there is an opportunity to buy in early in the morning. Today, we may not get that opportunity. We will see. I may have to wait a little bit for a strategic buy-in point. Nobody knows what is going to actually occur on each individual day. That's one of the things that I find very fascinating about what I do here. It is a matter of being patient, waiting for opportunities to buy some shares and then sell them at a profit. We're over the $41 mark now, and it has been a while since it's been up this high at 41. I do not feel comfortable buying in at this point. This could continue to rally up all morning. I really don't mind. The closer we get to my other sell limit order, and the closer we get to me selling off this last position at 42.87, that's a bit of a ways up there still. But this is one of those rounds of shares, this 250 shares here. I told you I was going to share everything. I ended up buying in these shares when, let's see what they had a value of. $42.67, I believe, was the original price that I paid. So on this round of shares, I'm not looking to be greedy. I'm just trying to close them at 20 cents per share profit. And I'll wait. I'm happy to wait for that capital to get it back until the value reaches that high. I don't want to sell them for less than that, because with dollar cost averaging, here's one of the things about dollar cost averaging. As I continue to buy and sell shares, it changes the original buy-in value of all of my shares, including those old ones that I paid $42.67 a piece for. So I need to be careful. If I was to sell those shares right now at $41.13 where we're at, as far as book value goes, I would be good. I would still be above water. I would still be in profit. But because I sell these at a loss, these 250 shares, because I sell them for less than what I purchased, it will subtract from the gains that I've made over the past week or two. And I do not want to do that, at least not at this point. I don't feel a rush. I don't feel that I have to do that. There's a very good chance that AI will go above $43 a share again in the next little while. We just don't know. Today, I'm just watching the activity, and we are on a very strong bull run this morning. I see the shares just continuing to climb and hold value. All right, so let's blow out a little bit and see what's going on here. Okay, as you can see, over the past little while, we are as high as we've been since this point back here, which was on Thursday, July 27th last week. We're starting to venture back into that playground. I think I bought my shares before this decline here somewhere on the same day, Thursday the 27th. You can see last week on Thursday, we did reach a high of $43.72, 74 cents, somewhere around there. So it'd be nice to see if that share value get back up there again and unlock the remainder of my capital. but I'm patient on that one order. That's not a significant portion of my capital, which is tied up in that trade right now. So, keeping an eye on opportunities to buy. No buying opportunity in sight. Now, I want to share one of the little blunders that I've been making before I started these videos. Right now, normally I would venture in a small trade up here just to see if I can catch something on a strong run up. But I'm looking at the wicks on these candles. Look at the wicks on the top of these candles here. Okay, see these top wicks coming off the top of this green candle? That indicates very strong selling pressure, and it's happened for 2 minutes in a row. So unless there's some significant buying power coming back in, this is about to turn and start heading down. That's what's those strong wicks on the top of those green bars, that's what that typically indicates. But we're still looking at 41.37. Hmm. 20 to 7 a.m., 6:41 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now I'm keeping an eye on the volume here. This is one of the things that I typically like to pay attention to here. See all these bars down here? They represent individual session volume. And I've got my sessions set to 1 minute intervals. So you can see in the morning we've had 50,000 shares of volume, 43,000, 39,000, then it dropped a bit to 23,000, shot back up to 67,000, 35,000. Got some recesses here. Got another strong activity here, 62K. But as you can see here right now, the last couple of minutes, we've been down to 7,900 in volume, 7,000 in volume. So the volume for the early opening bell is starting to get a little bit low. Now, the volume amount is one of the, I think it's probably the determining factor in a day-to-day volatility. The volume is what creates the opportunities to buy and sell shares of any particular company. I'm also keeping my eye up on these bigger companies over here. I know that Tesla the other day was down below 260. Keeping an eye on these other companies just in case I want to venture into those. But right now, my camp is in AI. This is where I'm focusing to try to, or to not to try, to earn my profits for the day. But I was really hoping to show you in live demonstration how I typically get into a trade. I've been able to demonstrate how I get out of a trade when it hits my sell limit. So today may just be one of those days I need a little bit of patience to wait for a decline in the value. Typically on an average day, there might be a steady decline or a drop before 8 to 8:30 a.m., at which case that would present an opportunity to buy in and then wait for the rest of the day. But at this point, I don't see any opportunities that I want to jump in on, because I do not like getting into shares that I have to hold for days in order to get rid of. I like my transactions to be in and out on the same day, preferably within minutes of one another. The market is now starting to represent a sideways pattern. We have, again, these green bars indicate strong sell. There's a little bit of a rally, but then a little bit of a decline. We've got kind of an undecided market here. Seller's market here. Again, stronger seller pressure right on this bar, and the market, the current bell. Again, I'm seeing the share value today starting to hit an invisible limit. It's testing, it's trying to work itself out. But currently we are moving flat sideways, and I don't want to engage in micro trading at this early in the morning, because this share value could go either way right now. As you can see, with that sharp increase there was an opportunity for a micro trade. Eventually you're going to see me micro trading, but not at this time of day. At this point, I can sit and cheer on shares of AI and wish them to keep going up to my next sell limit, which is $42.78. We're at $41.59. So my next sell limit is just $1 and a little bit more up there. So while this is going on, let me just share a little bit. Now, as I mentioned in session 1, I am new to trading actively. I literally believe that trading was not a way to create wealth, to create income. I had been taught as an investor to stay clear away from trading. And fortunately, I was introduced to somebody who was successful in trading, and I applied myself to learn and to get active in trading that I've been doing since the middle of June 16th. And the first 3 to 4 weeks, I ended up just getting my money held. As you can see, sometimes trades get held. I demonstrated that this morning. And I had to wait and do enough activity with a small amount of cash, around a couple $100, that I was able to begin demonstrating good behavior and good habits and routines of buying a single share sometimes and then selling a single share for just a profit. It could be 10 cents, could be 20 cents, could be $1. Didn't really matter. But my goal was to consistently have profitable trades. And I was able to do that for the first couple of weeks. Then when I got comfortable, part of my story is I began to sell off actual invested positions that I had, long-term holds, in order to move cash into my trading balance. And that gave me a little bit more capital to play with. So then I started playing with, I think, a balance of, I can't remember offhand, but I added maybe another $5,000 to $8,000 that I began to slowly ramp up my successful trading with. And I did that for a little while. And eventually, because I kept buying and selling shares at a lower cost than all of the original ones that I had bought back in mid-June, the dollar cost average was slowly reducing. And as time goes on in these sessions, I will show you active dollar cost averaging to demonstrate what that's about. But for now, I'm just explaining that the books finally balanced as far as my book value went. And before I started keeping serious track of all my profits and losses, I took the opportunity, once I saw the market recover, after 4 to 5 weeks, or after about 4 weeks, I think it was halfway through July this month, that I finally just got access back to all my capital. And then I was able to play around with this full balance of, at the time, I think a couple weeks ago, it was around 41, 42,000. Now I'm at 50,000. So it's up about 8 to 10,000 in the past 2 weeks. And I'm just continuing on. Let's go back to shared screen here. I do see a little bit of a dip, as you can see, in the morning. We've gone from this high up here of 41.63. Remember I told you I had a strong bad habit of buying even at those high points? Well, here's an example of where my patience paid off and I didn't do that, okay? Because we're now declining down. Now we got a green bar here, but again, there's still sell pressure. I'm waiting for this value to resolve. I could technically make a play here, but I'm a little bit concerned that this has not stopped dropping yet. And like I said, I want to try to make today overall, I want to try to make it a very, very profitable day. And the way to do that is to wait for the right opportunity to throw some money at it, and then just to let it simmer, let it bake, just like a cake. Let it bake all morning long, all day long. So this is one of those days where there's lesser opportunities for me to get active. I am keeping my eye on this right now, though, because we are in a ballpark where I might be able to buy a lot of shares. A lot, meaning a group. And even if I make 10, 15, 25 cents on each individual share, with the amount of shares that I buy, that would potentially turn into a lucrative profit. I say lucrative, but it's tongue-in-cheek. But the point is, if I make a lot of small wins throughout the day that add up over the course of a day, I mean, look at today. So far, I've got $48 on one and $109 on the other. So I'm up over $150 on the day so far. So if I get another win for $25 to $50 on the way to waiting for a more reasonable buy-in opportunity, that's just extra cash. I have learned enough in the past few weeks, though, to know that chasing these smaller wins, it takes a lot of mental energy, a lot of focus. There's a lot of emotional turmoil that goes along with it. And today I'm just kind of feeling, there's something that I'm just feeling like relaxing and spending a little bit more time with you today, here on camera, as I introduce you to the typical life of trading. And I think I want to take a little bit more of a chill day and just wait for the right opportunity. Now here we can see the market starting to, again, it's starting to test this previous bottom candle. And as you can see, we've now gone lower. So we are still on a decline. It's good that I waited. If I had tried to do a micro trade in here, there's so little room between here. If I had bought in here and tried to sell somewhere here, that's so little room to try to make a profit that it's best for me just to wait this out. Now again, as you can see, I could have bought in on the bottom there and maybe caught this back up. 10 cents a share. What are we at? But still, I would have had to buy at least 250 shares or more just to make that a $25 profit. And there's no real reason or need for me to do that at this time. We were at 6:54. We're almost 30 minutes into the session today. Now, one of the things I want to introduce you to is one of the indicators over here. As you can see, I'm using an indicator called a VWAP indicator, which I think stands for volume weighted average pricing. And what you can see is as the day progresses, this graph indicator here gives us a representation of what kind of activity this indicator is projecting that we're going to see. So as you can see, we've got a typical low point. You have to excuse me, I can't see the values there past my camera. $40.62 on the low. We've got a medium of about $40.99 and a top limit of around $41.37. As the day continues, this VWAP continues to populate and trends with the market to give us kind of a visual determination of where the activity is typically going to go in the market. All right, let's go back here. Okay, so again, my book value is showing that I can sell these lot of 250 shares anytime I wish. As I previously mentioned, though, to do that, it means I'm taking a little bit of loss on my previous profits, and I would rather just hold out and not do that. So I'm just going to keep my eye on a new opportunity for today. And again, I'm seeing this share value start to go sideways down here now at around $40.75 in that ballpark. Now, from what I'm seeing, just to give you a little bit of foreshadowing, I am seeing the value and the patterns start to get in to setup to typically make a potential play. And that typically involves what I was shown. You want to try to catch this on a trend when it's below the VWAP line or just at the bottom or so, but not when it's trending down. You want to wait until it goes through a bottom and then starts rising back up towards the bottom of the VWAP. And if you see a few green bar indicators on the way there, it's usually a decent indication of a good buy-in point. And it's usually an indication of one of those buy-in points that you will get into sometime during the morning. And then you will want to be patient and hopefully sell those later on in the afternoon if the market trends up slowly over the day. And with shares of AI, this typically tends to happen quite often, in fact. In one of these sessions, I will take some time to show you some day charts that I've been saving. Each and every day, I screenshot the activity for the whole day so that I can refer to it in my private time. Try to master my skill on buying and selling. Now, as we can see, again, we're still slowly declining. We're down to $40.69-ish now. In that range. I still haven't paid for TradingView. I've been using it for over a month free. That's one of the great things I love about TradingView, by the way, is they allow you to download and play with this monitoring software for free. It says it's a 30-day trial, but just so you know, I've been using it for more than 30 days without subscribing. I am definitely going to subscribe to this at some time in August. because it's clearly a software I'm going to use. But until you subscribe, you get those pop-up ads that you saw there. That's what that was about. All right, I am starting to feel a little bit adventurous, or maybe a little bit impatient. It's hard to say. Oh, I was just about to test the market with a small buy-in and see if I could make a little bit of profit. And then it's gone all the way back up to $40.85 again. So I don't want to buy in now. And you know what? There it keeps going. Okay, so here is the first introductory lesson that I'm going to share with everyone watching. And this is called FOMO, which is an acronym, F.O.M.O. And if you don't know what that means, it is an acronym for the fear of missing out. And one of the reasons that a lot of traders might lose money is because, like I said, I was feeling a little bit like, you know what? I want to test the market. I was going to throw up maybe 250 shares and look at buying them. And then I saw that little green spike, and then I saw that second bar, and I felt that emotion, that potential fear of missing out on a good opportunity to catch a run up. So I'm sharing that with you right now because I am actively ignoring that emotion. And even if it does run up a little bit, that's perfectly fine, but it's going to have to keep going in order for me to get involved. As you can see, the volume this morning is still fairly small. We've got 5K lots, 7K lots. So again, I'm going to confess, it is still too early to determine what share value of AI is going to do today over the day. And so this is just one of those points in the morning, in the early morning here, where if I was looking for a small opportunity, this might have been one. A little bit of time is going to reveal it. But just so that you know, I am still mastering the emotional side of trading. This might be a good time to just kind of share a little bit of my insight on emotions. And I've been picking up recently that there's a difference. There's a difference between emotions and feelings. They're not the same thing. We can feel that we're going to have a good day, right? But that is not an emotion. An emotion would come from that feeling, potentially, of we feel like we're going to have a good day. And then it might lead to some emotions of happiness, gratitude, joy, things like that. But emotions are not feelings. And so this emotion, fear of missing out, that's an emotional response to a feeling which goes deeper. And that feeling could be, it could be something like, well, I feel that the market is going to go up. But we don't know this, right? It's all speculative. We're guessing at best. We're using the indicators, we're using the experience and the knowledge that we have at our disposal. And we're looking for opportunities to get involved and make some money. So as we can see here, had I just gone ahead and bought that lot of shares here, I might have been able to sell it at a small profit there. But again, we're looking at a volatility that is so small compared to some of the larger plays that can be made, that it's getting to a point where it's worth less of my time to try to capitalize on these tiny little shifts. As you can see, the market is already turning down again to get back to this pricing where I considered buying in the first place. So had I missed this sell, I'd still be holding on to them. Now, it looks like it might turn back up again. I'm sharing an awful lot, just trying to put words to my interpretation of what I'm looking at this morning, especially since I know this is only session 2 and a lot of you tuning in are wanting to be here, watching how I'm going to demonstrate how I make money. Well, let me share some news. Right now, this is part of it. Sitting and waiting for the right opportunity. So I am going to take 250 shares here. I'm going to set up to buy. As you can see, I had to click through a couple of menus before I could actually get to the confirmation screen. And I'm just going to sit here with my finger on the trigger, ready to confirm a buy order. And then I'm going to watch and I'm going to see what's going on with these shares here. Let me just try this out. Okay, confirm. Let me just play around a little bit here. Okay, so I have officially bought 250 shares at a value of $40.94 a piece. $40.94 a piece. Now, I would like to make at least 10 cents per share on those, or more, but at least 10 cents per share. So I'm immediately going to sell up a sell limit order, and I'm going to go $41.05. And I'm going to sell my 250 shares at that sell. Now this is a limit sell, which means that it will not sell until it reaches at least $41.05. Now you see here I've toggled keep my order open until filled or until I cancel. And now I'm going to sit here with my finger on the trigger of the confirm order. And I'm going to wait and hope that this valuation crosses the $41 mark. It goes back up a little bit to $41.05 or even higher. One of the reasons that I did this, by the way, is because we are now at 7:06 a.m. and right now is the time that new people come into play, typically in the market. As you can see, so far so good. It's starting to increase a little bit. You can see down here, share activity volume is starting to increase. I know this by experience. Between 7 and 8 o'clock, there tends to be a little bit more of a spike in activity in the morning. After 8 o'clock is usually a time where we might start to see the markets slowly decline. But right now I've got my finger on the trigger. I've got a sell limit price of $41.05. As you can see, we're steadily climbing a little bit higher. And I'm going to try to see if I can catch a peak on this before it turns down. 41.18, 41.17. Market could be starting to turn now. But I'm still hoping for a little bit more on this run. This would be a nice early morning play here. All right, so far so good. We're at 41.20, 41.23. Keep going. Keep going. You got some more in you. Oh, look at this. 41.24, 41.28. Okay, now I'm feeling a little bit of excitement here. I'm into a trade that's potentially going to make me a little bit of money here. Starting to see some sell pressure on the top of those candles. Okay, I'm going to take my win right there. Now, as you can see, I've already locked in my sell limit there. Okay, so I wanted 41.05 and I was able to get 41.17. All right, so let's log that. 41.17, and let's just do the simple math. So that's 10 to 92, 90 minus 10 to 36. So I just made $56.90 there. Another $56.90, and I'm moving on. This is what I wanted to hopefully demonstrate to you as early as possible. Is I'm looking for several small wins here on the way to waiting for my first major opportunity, which still hasn't happened yet. But because I know this company's activity a little bit, I felt like taking a little bit of risk there and seeing if I can make a little bit of money, which did pay off, and I'm grateful for that. This is one of the reasons, by the way, that I don't jump around to all these different companies trying to look for opportunities. There's no need to do that. If you get to know, the more that you get to know one company and begin to actively trade in shares of that one company. Oh, look at this. It's continuing to climb. I could have made more, but like I said, we don't know. And we're getting to the top of the VWAP here, and I just wanted to, I didn't want to end up getting held shares. And once again, I feel a couple of things now. I feel like, oh, I could have got more. Fear of missing out. Be careful of that if you're going to venture into trading. That'll get you into trouble pretty quick. But where we're going right now at this time of day is, it is 7:10, and I'm still waiting for a good setup to make a meat and potatoes play for the day. I am hoping to see things take a dive before 9:30 to 10 in the morning, which will represent a strong opportunity to buy in and then hold that lot of shares throughout the afternoon if the market starts to trend back up again. But in the meantime, if I can catch a small win here and there, that's helpful. So looking at my balance here, so now I'm up over $200 for the day. Now, $200 in a day, that's nothing to sneeze at. I barely make more than that when I was in my old job working full time. I'd have to work a full day to get that kind of money. And I just made it in 40 minutes. This is one of the reasons that I'm actively trading. We continue to climb and to press the limits. We are now heading back up to test this previous limit of $41.65. You know what? If this is one of those days where shares of AI just continue to go up, up, up and away, that's fine. I've got a sell limit that I'm waiting to close out up there. But in the meantime, patience is what is needed. So, what time are we at here? We are at 7:12, and the market is a little bit high. I'm going to take this opportunity to give my dog a walk, and then I will be back shortly to continue this session. All right, we are back. I am back. And let's take a look at what's going on so far. Right, so it looks like we went up. We did go slightly past this early morning high of 41.65 here. So this does indicate to me that we are on a current upward trend in the share value of AI. At the same time, though, I don't feel as though I've missed much. There's been a testing of this new ceiling, and now we've dipped a little bit. Again, microplays, maybe there's opportunity to make 5 to 10 cents a share here, but nothing substantial that I see. So today is a game of patience. Share values of AI may continue to progress upward. I don't know. It's still too early to tell. And I don't feel like repeating my previous pattern of buying in on these highs only for the market to shift and things to start going down, and me having to hold on to a batch of shares. I don't want to continue doing that. I want to make some significant money. Now let's go back down here. You remember earlier in the morning here, when I was a little bit still undetermined, I was talking about making good plays. Now remember, I did put in 250 shares down here and I sold them at a small profit. Had I held on to those shares, we'd be up here now playing in this space. But again, you don't know that looking into the future. The best you can do is guess. So I missed out on this larger play, but that's okay. One of the things that I was taught is celebrate your wins, let the rest go. So as a trader, if you decide to get involved in something like this, you're going to see this over and over and over again, where you sell too soon and you miss out on potential income. Nothing to beat yourself up about. As time goes on and as one becomes a better trader, you learn to adapt and tweak. Now this leads me to a good point right here where I want to make this very clear. These videos are not designed for financial advisement. I am not suggesting that you be a day trader. I'm not suggesting that you do anything that I'm demonstrating here. These videos are for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. I'm not a broker. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I cannot make financial decisions for you or on your behalf. So you need to understand that if you're going to use these videos as an example of something that you might want to try for yourself, you are absorbing 100% of that risk on yourself. I'm not responsible for that. Now that that's said, we can move on. And I am looking at these shares. Look at the value of these shares. We just kind of shot up with a very large green spike to 41.84 as it continues to press higher. I've got a loaded order up here again for 250 shares just to see if I can catch something up here, since it looks like we're on an upward trend. Now you see this very steep red candle coming down here? This is what I was loaded up to get in on potentially. I'm looking at this decline. See how we shot up to 41.89? And I knew that I wasn't going to buy on the top of that bar, but looking at this red drop, I'm getting ready to consider a play here. Back down to 41.55-ish. And look at that volume there, 67,000. We're at 7:30 in the morning here. Let me catch this right here, okay? I've committed a buy. And this time I am buying 250 shares at a total of 41.64 each. $41.64 each. Now let me turn around. Now let me go around and put a limit 41.75. If we venture back up to that area, now as you can see, I did not catch the bottom of this movement. It has gone down and continues to go down even more. So here's a perfect example in real time. You just saw me commit to a purchase of 250 shares too early. There was a lot more room for it to drop. And again, because I'm learning as I go here in real time, that's part of the reason that these videos are being done, is to show you everything that is going on in my life as I journey towards my first million. So I think what I'm going to do here, I'm seeing another green turnaround here. No, I was considering buying another 250 shares, but I've already missed the turnaround and it's already on its way back up. So let me just go 41.64. Let's go back to my limit sell. Want a minimum of 41.75, but obviously I would like more than that even. And let's patiently wait with finger on the trigger and see where we go. Again, we're right around the time of day where we start to see some more activity. I mean, look at this. Look at this volume here from a few minutes ago. 67,000 shares of volume. Over here you can see the average volume so far for the morning is 6.3 million shares, which is kind of a better day than what I've been seeing lately. This is one of the indications, by the way, of a company that is tradable. You need to see a lot of average volume and a lot of daily volume in order to create this volatility where we can capitalize on these kinds of movements here. All right, we're back down to the 41.46 range. I'm setting up to load up another 250 shares on a buy. I want to see what goes on here down at this little trough. We're either going to go sideways a little bit and then recover up, or it's going to continue to go down. Either way, I think I want to be ready to see if I can jump in on another couple hundred shares here. All right, I've committed that purchase. And this time I've got 250 shares for 41.47. So just a little bit less than the first 250 shares that I bought. So now I've got 500 shares that I'd like to make a little bit of profit on. So let me set up those 500 shares and let me still try to get 41.75 out of these. and let's see what happens here. Sit with my finger on the trigger and cheerlead the share value of AI to go on an upward climb and spike. Let's see what goes on. You ready? You ready to join me on this? You ready to see what goes on? Let's see if I end up getting held on these shares or whether I'm able to get out at a small win. We are patiently waiting again. Now, if I happen to get, let me rephrase. When I get my 41.75 minimum out of these batch of 500 shares, I'm going to have a small win on the first batch of 250, but I'm going to have a larger win on the second batch of 250. When this share value goes ballistic and goes back up above 41.75, and then I'm going to hope, cross my fingers, and pray that I don't give in to the emotion to sell the second that I see 41.75, because I want today to be a day where we go up as high as $43 per share so that I can unlock my current held trade. And I don't remember when I bought that. I bought it a few days ago, I believe. But I want that upper trade of $42.85 to sell off. So I would like to see $43 per share today. Again, as you can see on a daily swing, we are trending up. This is one of the reasons, by the way, that I've committed to holding 500 shares, even though it looks high right now. Because if this trend continues with a little bit of a drop here and then an upward swing to push past this 41.89, 41.90, then I will make a little bit of money here as well and add it to my day. If it goes down, that's fine. Then I'm going to let it go down a lot before I commit to another buy-in. Also, I will have an opportunity to demonstrate dollar cost averaging in order to make these shares that I just purchased a little bit cheaper. All right, now as you can see, what's happening right now is I may have been mistaken. We again have seen a strong sell-off here in this last session, and we've gone down to even cheaper than the two previous points of when I bought in. Now here's where I've made some personal mistakes before. Every time I see this on a trend down, I keep adding more and more and more and more shares to try to capitalize on what I feel is going to be a turnaround going back up. And a lot of times I end up having to hold on to those shares, but I just want to double check how much money I have left to play with. Okay, I still have almost $20,000 of active trade capital to play with. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that intentionally for the rest of this day, looking for a low of all lows for the day. And that is not right now, not by a long shot. In the meantime, I'm going to hold these 500 shares at a value of $41.75 just in case the market trends back up before it comes down. I'm going to commit and load this up, but I'm not going to confirm the order because I want to do this manually. I want to watch as the share value goes past 41.75, and then I want to intentionally hold as long as I can before I let the shares go. Right about now, I feel inspired to share a little bit of my story with you. Why am I making these videos? Who am I to think that I'm going to create $1 million? Not just create $1 million, but do it in such a rapid time frame. I'm going for 5 months to turn $50,000 into $1 million. Where is this coming from? This is not just something I made up, just so you know. If you're watching this video, part of what got me here to this position that I'm sitting in right now is when I was in my early to mid 20s, which is 30 years ago, I had become a new believer in Christianity, and I developed a faith in Jesus Christ. And one of the internal visions that I had for a season of at least 5 to 10 years in my mid-20s was I could not shake some kind of internal knowing or vision that I was going to be financially wealthy beyond recognition to an insane degree, and that I was going to spend a significant portion of my day actively working with money. This is going back 30 years ago, okay? So fast forward the clocks to 2023, and me having a friend that just happened to introduce me to a successful trader while I had some experience as an investor. And one of the reasons I am so adamant about what I'm doing right now is based on that vision that I had over 30 years ago. Now, I had that vision consistently for years, and then life got in the way. I started to experiment and wander and pursue different kinds of things in life. And that vision just it didn't disappear entirely. It just kind of went down into more of an unconscious level. And it was only when I met this woman I shared about earlier back in June that I realized that this is God bringing back that vision that I had over 30 years ago. I am actively sitting working with money. That's the part of the vision that has already come to pass and being fulfilled right now as I sit here. The other part is that the money will follow. And I have every confidence that it will. I'm not concerned about it at all. So I just wanted to share that little bit of a story with you because I think that it's important and I think that it's relevant. And I think that before you take any of what I'm doing as any kind of suggestion for you to try it yourself, you need to understand that I didn't get into this just out of curiosity. I got into this based on the fact that I feel a strong conviction that I am chosen to do this, that this is what I am meant to do with my life. And there's as time goes on, you're going to learn that part of what I have to share as a message is that there is a very strong effect on your external reality when you have a deeply ingrained passion and belief in a particular thing. It tends to come to pass. Now, I don't know what your faith background is. I'm just sharing a little bit of my own. That's a bit of that story there. But let's bring it forth to present day. In the Bible, I believe it's Micah 2, verse 3, where God talks about the vision is for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait on it, for it will surely come to pass, it will not tarry. What does this mean? To me, this means that the vision that God has given you on your heart, it may take some time for you to see it occur. But when it does, it's likely to happen so fast that you will not remember how it happened. this is a scripture that I believe that I am currently living out today. Micah 2 verse 3. I'm about to demonstrate taking a $50,000 trade balance and turning it into over $1 million in the next 5 months. I'm not stopping there, just so you know. It's just the starting gate of what I intend to demonstrate is possible with the right knowledge, the right understanding, and the right application of that understanding. Anyway, let's go back to the markets here. I wish I could report good things, but as you can see, we've continued to drop down to a low of $41 and even $40.95. As I've been talking and sharing with you a little bit about my story, I've been watching this in my sideline view, in case you're seeing my eyes wander. And I wanted to throw this back up and show you, I don't just get in and out of trades in seconds and every one of them is profitable. This one, I didn't exercise enough patience to watch the activity of the market. I suspected that it was going to continue to go back up, and I still have that suspicion, and here's why. Now I'm going to show you something where I have a good opportunity to do it. I'm going to use my indicator tool. I'm going to draw a line. Okay, what I'm doing right now is, this is called charting. And part of what I am learning as a trader is to chart. Now, as you can see here, this line, if you're going to try to do this charting, we could also do another one here. Okay, so charting is, as you can see, this bottom where it touches the line and this bottom where it touches the line, you can see that we're trending up. Same thing represented by the top of the activity as well. This peak line touches the line, this peak line touches the line. Now these lows are getting steadily higher, these highs are getting steadily higher, and this is one of the main reasons that I'm currently holding on to my 500 shares with a cool head, because it seems now like we may have tested this bottom line on an upward trend, and now I'm just patiently waiting for this to continue going up. So now that I've showed you that, I'm going to get rid of those lines because they're distracting. And I'm going to patiently sit and wait with a share value of around 41.18. I paid more than that, but I'm waiting for this market to climb past this last peak of, as you can see, 41.89. I'm waiting for this share value to turn around, start another escalation, upward climb, to go beyond $42. And when that happens, I'm going to close these 500 shares at a decent profit, and I'm going to add that to my wins for the day. That's my plan, at least. Now, time-wise, we are getting to 7:52 a.m. We're starting to reach a point in the day where typically there tends to be some steady downward activity. If there is today, that's fine. I'm going to try to wait it out until we get all the way to the bottom. And part of the process in waiting that out is going to be me leaving for a little while and getting away from the screen. This is part of the life of trading that I'm learning to appreciate, is that I can't sit here all day manually trying to control everything that's happening. I obviously don't control the markets directly, at least I don't profess to demonstrate that power at this time. but I do control how I feel in response to any events and circumstances in my external reality. So if I feel that it is necessary to take a short break and maybe go do a 3-mile walk, that'll kill an hour. Have a shower, that'll kill another half an hour. Maybe come back around 9 or 9:30, which is typically the target point of potentially setting up for another decent trade. So, as I said, if this market activity right now continues to decline instead of bounce back up, we just had another low, which almost surpassed this previous one, but not quite. So the market is either shifting sideways or it's shifting direction. But it's not the end of the world. Having 500 shares at a value of a little bit less than $41.75 is not the end of the world. The share value has been over $43 a couple of times in the past month or two. I'm not terribly concerned. That being said, with the share value currently at $41 and change, this is a riskier portion. This is a riskier valuation to play with heavy volumes of this particular stock. Because on any given moment, this stock, I've seen this stock last week drop over $5 per share in a single day. It went from $42 and I think it went all the way down to $37. And then it slowly started coming back up. But the point is, the volatility is real. And if you're a person going into your first trade and you suddenly see a $5 per share drop, you're likely going to get emotional about it, and you might do something ignorant, like sell your position at a loss. That's not how you make money. That is not how you become a successful trader. Giving into emotions is not going to serve well in trading. Also, remember, we're not trading things without value. We're trading shares of decent, established companies. Just to give you a little bit of background on C3.ai, it is a new company. It is not highly profitable yet, but from the research that I've done on the company itself, C3.ai is one of the industry leaders in the artificial intelligence software development. I believe they have contracts with large vendors like the US military and airlines, and they have all kinds of contracts, and they create AI software custom tailored to the clients that they serve. And when I learned a little bit about the company, even though the company is not successful like some of these other companies like Nvidia and Tesla and Amazon and AMD, they're still new, but they are what I classify as an industry leader in the space. Okay, here's what I would like to point out. As you can see, when I showed you trending lines, we are now on a downward trend. So this is not a time where I am going to anticipate buying any more shares. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set my day up, and I'm going to take a break. I'm going to enjoy my life. Despite what I'm looking at here on the screen, it doesn't matter. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at my sells. 41.64 was my highest point. So here's what I like to do in this exact situation. I'm going to take 41.64 and I'm going to say I want to make 2.5% on it. So I'm going to multiply that by 1.025. And that gives me a closing sell of $42.68. So what I'm going to do is, at worst case scenario, while I'm away from the screen, I'm going to set up a sell limit order on my 500 shares at $42.68. So if the market turns around while I'm away and starts to shoot up past here, then that's okay. I don't mind making 2.5%. I'm going to confirm that order and I'm going to lock it in. Okay, so this gives me some protection that should I go away and come back to an upward trend in the market that is shot back up, I don't want to miss the opportunity to sell, but I also don't want to sell at just $41.75. I want to see if I can get my full 2.5%, which is my target goal when I'm trading. So right now, this is where I'm going to leave you for a little bit. I'm going to enjoy a morning walk, followed by maybe a little bit of yoga, maybe a shower, and I'm going to target being back here in about an hour to an hour and a half, somewhere in that time, or right around 9:30. And one of two things will have happened. One of three things will have happened. The market will either have gone sideways, which I don't suspect it will do. The market will have recovered and shot back up and closed my sell order of 42.68. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Have I got the right total there? Yeah, 42.68. And then maybe even after that, 42.87. Or I'm going to come back to a very, very significant drop, at which point I have a gift and a plan to show you how I navigate that potential opportunity. So this is not the end of the day. This is just a break. Stay tuned for what's coming next. All right, and I am back. I have been spending a little bit of my morning out for a walk, doing some yoga, had a shower, and I've just come back to the market. So let's see where we're at today. All right, now I want to highlight this right here. Okay, so I have been away, and so I missed this activity on the buy-in, which happened a little bit earlier than I suspected today. The low happened around 8:10 to 8:20 a.m. And as you can see, it's been trending up ever since. And it even had a high point here. Had a high point of 41.99. If I had been here present, I likely would have sold my 500 shares. As you might recall, I had put a sell limit on my shares of around 42.60 something. Let me just see if I can find that out. Just bear with me 1 second. So yeah, 42.68 is what I have listed as my sell order. Now, like I said earlier, before I left, 42.68 was what I was going for had I not been present. Had I been here sitting at the computer, I likely would have saw this spike, this heavy green spike up here, and I likely would have sold somewhere between here, and if I saw this, I might have chickened out and missed this. So I want this to serve as a lesson and as an example that sometimes the best profits in the trades that I make, they occur when I'm not even present at the computer, because I become my own worst enemy and selling off a position before it really matures into the type of return that I want. All right, so as we can see, we are on another downward trend, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take another break. I'm looking for one of two things to occur. I'm either looking for the market to shift back up and go even higher than this point here, and maybe catch that on a close for the day, or I'm looking for the market to continue its downward trend to look for another opportunity to potentially buy more shares, and I'll explain why if I make that decision later on in the day. So for now, I just wanted to check in a little bit. I'm going to take another break and I'm going to continue enjoying part of my morning, and I will be back shortly. All right, here we are back again. I took another small break this morning because basically the share value was right in the area that I bought this morning at, and it had to do one of two things in order for me to make a play. It had to either drop further or it had to continue correcting and going back up. So let's have a look at the market now. Okay, so as you can see, last I checked in here, we were on this downward trend. But the trend has corrected and it is now going back up again. And again, we're right around $41.76. Now, if we check what I bought in this morning at, we can see that I bought 250 shares at $41.64 and another 250 shares at $41.47. So I want to try to hold off on selling these as long as I can, even though I can make a tiny profit on these trades. These are my bread and butter trades that I put in this morning, and this is the potential that I likely have to make the most profit on today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actively sit in wait. I would still like to see this upward trend continue. What time are we at? We are at 10:37 a.m. I would like to see this upward trend continue past this 41.99 and continue up above, even reaching my sell point of 42.68, because I know if I reach 42.68, I'm making at least 2.5% on the 250 shares that I purchased at 41.67. And then I'm also going to make more than 2.5% on the other 250 shares that I purchased for a little bit less. So this is me now demonstrating to you the fine art of emotional taming and patience. Let's see what happens. 42.68. I'm going to leave that automatic sell on. I'm not going to govern this manually at this point. Even if I wanted to, we're not close enough yet. But I do see the market still trending up, inching upward. 41.89, that's good. 41.92 I see, that's good. So this is looking like it might turn into an exciting afternoon. You can see we are now passing the earlier peak of this morning on an upward trend. This is what I like to see. This is an indication that I may have a good afternoon. So this is the art of waiting. Come on, people! Keep piling in. Buy shares of AI today. It's a good day. It's the last day of the month. I know that people want to make some money to pay their rent and stuff like that. So let's see, but let's go back and visit down here. You see, look at what happened down here. You see this morning, had I been around, if you bought in anywhere in this area, 40.62, even at 40.90, right now, the share value would be over $1 per share. Okay? And that's where some significant money can be made. Now look at this. We just crossed the line over $42 and then right back down again. Look at that volume spike right there. That volume spike, 93,000 shares moved on the market right there at 10:40 a.m. Don't know who's doing that. That's probably likely a large player, possibly an institution. Possibly an institution or a large player selling a large position at a profit. As soon as it hit $42, it likely triggered a sell limit order at exactly $42. That's likely what caused that. Because I saw that spike the second that we hit $42. Now, as you can see, we're continuing to climb slowly up past $42 into 43, into 4203, 4204. I need to sit patient. I can manually sell off my position at a profit right now. I can do that. And I can make a little bit of money. Or I can continue holding myself in check and watching this continue to rise and allowing God to basically do his work, which is to cause the growth in my finances. So let's see how this plays out. I'm kind of happy and excited that I'm in this position, catching all this on camera right now so that you can see me in real time and how I'm reacting to this emotionally. Because this is a large part of the game here. Ooh, a steep drop. A slide all the way back down to 41.86. I really do want to see my position close at 42.68 minimum. That would turn me into a good day. Now, what I am noticing here is that the volume has, aside from that spike this morning at 96,000 shares, and likely again, I think that may have been a response to the market hitting $42 on the nose, likely triggered a huge sell limit order for somebody. I'm holding out for better. I can see that the current value is diving again from 42 back down to where it is. I'm hoping that we're not done the rally up yet. Again, volume is low, so holding on to these shares is a risky play. I'm still committed at this point. It's early in the day, so I'm still hoping that we've got room to move up. It's still only 10:45 a.m. And just to fill you in a little bit on some things that I've seen happen in the past, there tends to be some heavy activity at times around 11 to 12 a.m. my time. So we're getting right into that zone where we could see some more activity. hopefully rallying up the market. That's what I'm currently sitting and waiting on. That's why I'm not in an immediate hurry to sell my shares. All right, I'm continuing to hold on to my patience. Volume is 883 shares this session. So we're at a point now where there's just about nothing going on the volume. And when there's nothing going on the volume, there's nothing going on the volatility either. So at this point, it's looking to me like it's likely I missed another peak sell point, potentially at $42. Again, if I did, that's on me. I'm sitting here active this time. I chose to ignore that. And I'm kind of hoping that the upward rally has still got room to play out higher. Currently at 41.88. Take a short break and I'll be right back. All right, here I am back, and let's see where we're at. Okay, we're playing around kind of in the same spot here. We're bouncing around a low of 41.70, 41.80, a high of 42. And again, there's another volume play there, 33,000 shares there. So I'm still not 100% sure what is going to happen. So I'm still holding on. I know what I would like to close my day. I'm just starting to wonder if it's actually going to do what I want it to do. So I think that as soon as we establish a little bit of position above the $42 per share range, and it looks like it's going to hold there, I will update my position and my intention on what I intend to do. Now, best case scenario, just so that you know, following along, is that we continue to rally up even to $43, and I sell not just this position that I bought this morning, okay, but also this position that I bought a few days ago, which I would like to share at 42.87. The problem with this one here is at the time that I set that sell limit order, you can see that I paid $42.67 for that round of shares. So as you can see, I've only tacked on 20 cents per share to close them at 42.87. Again, I'm not trying to be greedy on that one. I'm just trying to close it at a profit so that I know that it's closed at a profit and not at a loss, which would eat into my previous profits that I've managed to gain and create. So we've got all this going on actively while I'm watching the market do its strange stuff. Here we go again, back down into the 41.75-ish range again. I don't know which way things are going to go here. I know that I have a hope of which way I would like to see it go, and I'm continuing to try to avoid cutting myself off from great profits today. Even though I could close my position right now and make a reasonable profit, I'm still holding for more, because it'd be nice to make that sweet 2.5%. Again, we've still got time in the day, and again, we're just getting into the section of time right now where I've seen potential heavy players come in. That being said, we are riding high on the average share value of AI at 41.82. We are playing in the upper limit of its average price, because for some reason AI doesn't seem to like to stay above $43 for very long, or not even above $42 for very long. It tends to shoot up and spike and then immediately crash. It doesn't seem to establish itself for very long above the $42, $43 per share range. So what I'm hoping for today is to catch some volatility as it travels up there. And at this point on camera, I can share with all of you that I am feeling the emotions on sitting here patiently waiting on this trade. I feel like I want to get out. I feel like I want to take a small win and just add it to my victory of the day. And that's my emotion. Remember this morning I shared a difference between emotions and feelings. My emotion is telling me it'd be nice to actually close out that trade. We're talking about over $20,000, and it's at a profit. It's not at a loss. It's not at breaking even. It's at a profit right now. I don't know how much, but it's a decent profit. But then my feeling, not my emotion, my feeling is telling me, you know, the second that you make that sell, you're going to sit here and you're going to watch people come in and rally it up to over $43 a share today. That's my feeling that is telling me that. So right now, in real time, on camera, you are listening to me verbalize something that is going on inside of me that you can't see unless I share it, which is I have this feeling that it's going to go higher, and I have this emotion that I'd like to sell. So I do want to sell, but I would rather sell at what I decided that I want, which is $42.68. And here I'm sitting in real time, along with you if you're watching, looking at this. You can see we're bouncing up and down here, $42 back down to $41.73, and now we're going right back up again to $41.90. There's still a couple of hours left in this day, so there's time for a lot to happen. I've seen it occur on several occasions where I may step away for 5 minutes to do something, and when I come back, there's a $1 spike out of nowhere. So I'm kind of hoping for something like that to happen right now so that I can catch it on camera. This is only session 2, by the way, and so there's part of that is the reason I want to catch this on camera right here at the beginning so that you can see some of the crazy stuff that goes on in trading. And if you're patient, or if if you're able to see past all of this short-term volatility, it can lead to some decent rewards. Now, I could also step away from the screen and go and do something, but at this point, we are getting closer to the end of the day. We're past 11 a.m. now. And markets for me close at 1 o'clock. So we've got 2 hours left to go. And I'm hoping that as I sit here with you, hanging out, listening to Stream Beats from Harris Heller, watching me sharing, sharing with you how I'm feeling, what's going on, and watching the share value again, which is going back up to $41.99, and it looks like we might be crossing over the $42 per share mark again. There we go again. Now, my question that I have right now is, are we going to pass this previous peak of $42.06? Because this previous peak of $42.06 crossed this previous peak of $41.98. So if we press higher than $42.06, then that indicates to me that we are still looking at a progressive upward trend. And in that situation, patience may be a virtue. Patience may pay off. So let's just bear in here for a few moments and see what goes on here. We're dropping back down again. At this point, I am starting to see a little bit of comfort around the $42 mark. It's definitely getting some resistance at $42 a share. It's having a challenging time going past $42 and holding there. I'm confident that it's going to happen though. Within the next 30 to 60 minutes. Again, we've got no volume going on. That makes it for a very slow movement. One of the reasons that you are going to want to have volume indicators on with using TraderView is because of this. The volume is a good indication of how much volatility you can expect to see at any given time with the activity. We can see that there's very low volume. What is this? 2 shares. 2 shares during this session. Okay, there's 100 shares. That's better. Like, all the people on this planet, somebody bought 2 single shares of AI. That kind of stuff makes me laugh. All right. I'm starting to feel like it's getting close to time where I want to see this share value begin doing a rapid increase up to $43 a share right now. I confess that I'm feeling a little bit impatient. I've already shared that I'm dealing with that. We're hovering right around 41.96. Again, I'm in the profit, so I'm not panicking. But I am fighting and resisting that urge to sell off right now and close my position. Because the current position that I have is likely going to be my last trade of the day. And I'm only up a couple of $100 today so far. I would like these 500 shares to carry me up around the $700 to $800 mark for the day. And the way that will occur is if they close at least $42.68, if not higher. So I'm really hoping that some big whales come into play. some unknown huge buys for God only knows what reason. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Not sure what I was doing there. 41.88, and we're playing around. The volume is so low right now, as you can see. Aside from these spikes here, which is what I'm looking for, these volumes are so low. Today is not even a typical day where I'm seeing steady activity throughout the day. It's spikes with a whole bunch of nothing in between. As you can see over here, the average volume for the day is only 14 million shares so far, and we've only got 2 hours left in the day. You can see the average volume is 19 million shares, right? But when I started trading shares of AI, the average daily volume was closer to 50 million shares per day. So popularity in trading AI has diminished since I started a month ago. I don't know what is behind the scenes on that. I'm just sharing something that I've noticed as I've been trading shares of AI for the past month, that the average volume for the day has been getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And this is one of the main reasons that I'm considering now possibly moving on from AI and considering a more solid company for day trading. I'm keeping my eye on companies like AMD. I'm keeping my eyes on companies like Tesla and Nvidia, even Amazon and Google. I've got them all, and Apple, of course. Apple just always goes up. You know, if you look at the history of Apple, I think everybody knows. Just look at this. Apple just keeps continuing to go up and prove that there's no end in sight. So AI is not like that. AI is a small company. They are an industry leader in what they do. So that's one of the main reasons that I'm breaking the normal rules of trading in shares of a highly valuable company. And I'm taking a bit of a riskier move with stocks of AI. The reason being is AI is one of those companies that if they succeed and become the dominant player in the industry, these shares may see another day of over $100 a share. But there's no guarantee on that, especially not right now. And so therefore I would not put money in this for any length of time. I'm just actively trading on the daily volatility while the share value is figuring itself out. And again, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the typical average lately is anywhere between $37 and $42 is the play range of shares of AI. So again, at $41.97, we are pushing the upper envelope. We're pushing the upper limit of where it likes to play and where it likes to live recently. It has been up as high as $48, but it's only done that once. And then since that time, I think it's only broke $43. Maybe once. There's that $43. Let's go. There's the 48, and then over here was the 43. It's only broken $43 one time since that last spike. Here we are again looking at over $42 a share, just slightly. I want to see this keep going up. I literally am sitting here willing it to be so. I want my victory of 42.68. I'd even like my victory of 42.87, and what I'd like to see this day play out as is I would like all of my current trades to close for the day, being the last day of July, so that I can move into a brand new month of August with the full power of all of my capital available to trade going into a brand new month. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm currently sitting here holding out for. $42.06. So as you can see, we've gone past, remember I was talking about trends a little bit here? We hit the 4206 mark again right here, 4209, and we're still trending up a little bit. There is some sell resistance up in this space, but as you can see, it's really working its way up slowly to try to pass one peak after another. And to me, this is one of the main reasons that I'm sitting here actively holding my shares, because I think it's just a matter of a little bit of patience before something happens and this market blows up the value of AI by likely another $1 per share before the day close. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling. Again, we're experiencing a hard time getting past the $42 mark, but I've seen this happen before where it looks like it's never going to go past, and then all of a sudden, not only does it go past, it goes past way beyond anything that anybody was expecting or watching for. And that's what I'm feeling like. One of those moments is about to happen. Just a feeling, not an emotion. So I'm now looking to pass $42.09 to see evidence of a continued upward progression is what I'm looking for. And again, with these bottoms here demonstrated, let me draw another line here. Okay, with these bottoms demonstrated again, we can see an upward trend even in the bottoms as it comes down. It comes down a certain amount and then continues back up. So again, the bottoms are on an upward trend, the highs are on an upward trend. This is one of those times where I'm just sitting patiently and waiting it out. And I'm really hoping that my patience pays off today and that it's all here on camera. All right, we're back down to 41.93. All right, I am going to take a short break and give my camera a little bit of rest. It seems to be having some heating issues, and I will be back shortly. All right, I have returned, and now things have changed. Let's look at this. Okay, so we have broken the upward trend and we are now shifting directions into a downward trend. So Holding on to my position has not paid off today. So I am now going to go into my orders and see where things are at. Okay, so this 42.68, I'm going to shift my intention here. And as much as I would like to get that, I'm going to look at what I paid. Okay, so I have around, I purchased all of my shares at 41.64, and as you can see right now, we are at the 41.64 mark again on the way down. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can actually make a profit on this trade before it continues a downward slope. So I'm going to cancel this order. And then I'm going to try to catch this on a bounce up, but I am not holding out for $42.68 today. I'm going to try to make a profit, a healthy profit, and call it a day. So I have 500 shares available. My top price was 41.64. So if I say 41.85, that will get me some profit on the top 250 shares and more profit on the bottom 250 shares. Let's go 500 shares. So I want to set a sell limit of 41.85 and hope that this bounces back up that high at some point during the day. What was that? 41.67 or 41.64? Let's go 41.89. See if I can make 25 cents per share on that top 250 and a little bit more on the bottom 250. Now again, I'm going to sit here with this limit not locked in, but I'm going to sit with it finger on the trigger and hope that I can catch a play on the way up. Otherwise, I'm holding on to these shares for another day. And as you can see right now, the market is continuing its downward trend. We're down to 41.57 now. So this is not my most glorious moment. I had ample opportunity to sell my position up here at $42 per share that I specifically ignored and did not do. So this is on me. I'm fully responsible for putting myself in this position. And now I'm going to wait and I'm going to see what happens. It just continues to go down. Last day of the month, July 31st. Looks like people are taking their profits and possibly leaving. I was not one of them. Not today. Not yet. Not today. The day's not over though. Now I'm just looking at this from earlier in the day today, and I see that we had a strong rally up, a decline. We had this strong rally up, and then we broke trend here earlier in the day, and we dropped all the way down to here, okay, which broke the trend of going up. But then it recovered and it continued going up. So I'm kind of wondering if that's going to happen again right now. I will know that it's all over though if this downward trend breaks this resistance of 41.23. If it drops below 41.23, I kind of know at that point that I made a bad decision today and I'm going to be in holding of these shares. So let's hope that that is not what's going on. I'm going with the fact and the belief that despite this heavy sell right here from $42 all the way back down to 41 and like 41.40, for other people, not me, but for other people, this presents a tremendous buying opportunity if somebody wants to get in bold late in the day and decide, you know what, I'm buying in again and I'm going to make another 50 cents a share. And that's now what I'm kind of hoping to see. I'm hoping that somebody sees this activity, a big whale, and says, I'm about to make some money. And unlike me, they're ready and profitable to do that. Now, here we go again. We're on the way. It looks like we're on the way back up again. So I'm going to pull open my sell limit order at 41.89. And I'm going to sit here patiently waiting for the bounce back up. I could have also bought more shares, but there's no real point in me doing that at this time because the buy value would be so close to what I've already purchased. There would be no dollar cost averaging to my advantage. It would just be me tying up more of my money into a market that hasn't made up its mind which direction it's going to go yet. And that's not what I want to do at this point in the day. Come on, guys. Keep going. Keep rallying up. I know that you've got some steam left in you today. I'm waiting here. I know that you've got it in you. We are at 11:34 a.m. Things are about to happen. I don't know whether they're going to be good things or not so good things, but I do know that things are about to happen. Our average volume for the day is only 15 million shares. We are light on trading for AI today. We are light. As I told you, a month ago, these average day volumes were over 50 million shares per day. Now they're barely hitting 20 million per day. So I want to see some more volume come in. Did you see that? Did you see that sharp green spike that just happened there? I was sitting here patiently watching the screen, doing nothing, and all of a sudden, a spike took it up to 41.70, just in an instant. So, the day is not over. Come on, guys, let's rally back up over at least 41.89 to give me an option to close my position today. So far, I like what I'm seeing. Looks like it's supporting itself on a bottom resistance and starting to turn around and go back up. So I'm hopeful. Starting to slowly inch its way up. And I have to say, it's kind of like watching paint dry at this point. There's not a lot going on. There's not a lot of volume. This volume is below 1,000 shares per minute. 695, 402. Like, if I have a chance, if there is going to be an opportunity for me to sell out this position and for this to keep moving higher, we're going to need some volume. Okay, so this is not a good time of day for volume. The volume is next to nothing. And this makes for no movement, and it makes for a stagnant market. And it's not the best position to be in right now, especially when you're sitting on wanting to sell 500 shares. But I do want to make a profit on them at least. So despite what I am seeing in the physical world, no volume, I'm holding fast to what I want, and I'm going to see if I can at least get at 41.89 per share out of these shares. Hopefully a little bit more than that, but at least 41.89. And I'm hoping that what I'm looking at here is the beginning of another upswing. So the share value is creeping up. It's making headway by 1 to 2 cents every few minutes. It is very, very slow. It is trending up though, again, at least at this point. It's back up to 41.78. It's starting to get into the range now of me closing at 41.89. I don't want to commit to that sell though at 41.89 because from what I'm seeing, it looks like there's room for it to go past 41.89 on the way up again. So what I'm hoping for is to close my position at above 41.89 and just call it a day. We just hit 41.81. Here we go. Here we go. 41.85. It spiked up. So it is starting to push up. It's late in the day. I may successfully get out of this trade, even at a profit for the day. Getting very close now, and I'm on the edge. I'm waiting to let these shares go. You know, it's good that I've had the past 6 to 8 weeks to get used to this kind of behavior. Because I kid you not, a month ago, I would have been yelling and swearing at my screen. I kid you not. I joke with the woman that is teaching me how to trade, and she was even joking with me again today. She can't wait to see this video where I'm yelling and swearing at the screen. I'm going, no, it's not like that today. It's actually kind of chill and relaxed. Here we go. We're getting up there. We're back up to 41.84. I'm waiting for a spike rally up so that I can potentially close my position at a profit today. And then I still believe that even after I close my trade, it's likely to continue up, up and away, way beyond 41.89, which you can see we just hit. If I had committed to this order, it would have just sold. But I want to see if I can exit this manually, just in case it continues past 41.89 and potentially reaches up past $42 again. That would be nice. So I'm still seeing an upward trend, even though it is slow and painful. I'm still watching it. Here we go, up to 41.91. So any second now, I could be executing my close. 41.94. Here we go. We're going on an upward spike. Wonder if it's going to keep going. You're getting right back up to $42 a share. Cross that $42 line. Now, if you're paying attention, you know that I've had 2 opportunities now to get out of my position. One back here early in the day at 42, but I was holding out for more. And again, I got my finger on the trigger at 41.89. We passed that and went all the way up to 41.94, but I still held firm because I'm waiting. Here we go back up again, 41.90. I feel as though I can get more on this transaction. I'm holding out. The last thing I want to see is me selling off at 41.89 and then it having a late afternoon spike up to 42.60, which it's done before. I don't want that happening today if I close my position. I want to catch it if it happens. 41.92, and we're still on a slow, steady progression up. I don't see any indication that the market is turning, so I'm going to hold steady on with my finger on the buy button, or on the sell button, rather. We're up to 41.93, 41.94 again. At this point, I'm looking to see if we can cross that $42 point. We're so close now. We're 8 cents away from $42 a share again. $11:58 a.m. We are getting into the last hour of the day, where anything can happen in the last hour of the day. I've seen it time and time again. So, just so that you know, if you're watching on video, one of the things that I'm watching very closely right now is I'm watching to see if there's any top wicks on these candles to indicate downward sell pressure. Like there were a couple of green bars here all the way up, downward pressure, downward pressure, downward pressure. But these last two, they were all green and they had no top wicks, which was an indication to me that the market is likely to continue this slow progression up. But now I see this red bar, and this red bar is not presenting any buying pressure either. There's no wick on the bottom of this red bar. So again, here we go back down to 41.89, and now we're starting to push back up, 41.90. As long as I see this slow, steady progression up, I'm going to hold my sell as long as I possibly can. To get as much profit as I can on this trade and close my day and close my month and move into a new month. Ooh, I did not like seeing that drop at all. That drop right there just hit me. We spiked right back down to 41.85, and now you can hear me starting to lose my shit. I'm glad that this is all on video. If you decide to try to do what I'm doing, you're going to experience some of this yourself. But I'm still holding on like a stubborn Taurus male that I am. I want $42 a share, damn it. Give it to me right now. $42 a share. I've got a sell limit at 41.89, but I want more than that. I want 42. Let's go. Back up you go. Did you see that? Look at that spike back up in the green. Back up all of a sudden with no warning. Back up to 41.92. That's why I keep holding on to this, because this kind of stuff just begins to happen out of nowhere. You get these sharps, you get 30 minutes of nothing going on, and then all of a sudden there is one single minute in the afternoon where all of a sudden somebody comes in with 50,000 shares and completely decimates whatever price you were looking at. That could go either way though, by the way. It could be 50,000 sell, or it could be 50,000 buy. But it happens out of nowhere, just like you see this one back here. Let's highlight that one back here. You can see these spikes. There was nothing, a little bit of activity. Then this big sharp spike, right? Nothing, another spike. Nothing, another spike. And now look at all this time that I've been sitting here. We've been hanging out on camera. All this time of nothing. And I'm waiting because any moment now there could be another huge spike in volume to carry this share value right past the $42 point and potentially right past this previous peak of $42.09. But we're going to see. It was getting so close. It was getting so close. Typically at this point of the day, I might be dabbling in and out with some micro trades of like 50 or 100 shares at a time, just trying to catch a volatility of about 10 cents per share, 15 cents per share, but I don't feel like playing that way today. It just clutters up everything in my trade history. So I'm trying to do less trades, just make them all profitable. I think there were a few days I executed more than 30 trades in one day, all profitable, but it really sends a lot of activity in my account. And since I'm trading in a TFSA, I want to try to start keeping that transaction trail as low as possible. So at this point, I'm just looking to get out of this trade at a profit, hopefully $41.89, to close this trade and recover my capital so that I can go into a new month with most of my trade capital ready to deploy. Oh no, that is not what I wanted to see. I did not want to see that drop all the way back down to 41.70 something. Come on, guys. Stop that fucking shit. Now, I do see a lot of strong buying pressure on that drop, and for good reason. That is a heavy bottom wick pushing that back up. I don't know who the hell unloaded that heap of shares there, but at this point of the day, like I said, anything can happen. Now I'm beginning to wonder if I'm even going to get my 41.89. I've passed on 2 opportunities so far to sell my position because I thought that it was possible I didn't want to miss out on a late afternoon sharp bull rally, which I've seen a few times. It just looks like it may not happen today. So now I just want to see if I can get out of my position, but I'd like to get out of it at a reasonable profit. Here we go. We're still continuing down, 41.73. Not good. Not good at all. All right, so even selling at 41.74 makes me $25 in profit on that first round of 250 shares. But having held on to it all day long, $25 doesn't sound like an awful lot of a win. It is a win, but it's not a huge one. Here we go back up again, it looks like. 41.80 it broke before it slipped back down. Today, I need to look for an opportunity to close out my position and call it a day. So let's work on that right now. Can we get back up to 41.89? We're sitting here at 41.81. 8 cents away. It looks like for a brief moment there, it was up at 41.84 again. If I can at least get 41.89, then I know I'm making at least $62.50 on my first round of 250 shares. I make even more on the other 250. Here we go again, heading back up to my sell limit. Hovering at 41.82. Nope. Nope. Resistance, resistance, resistance at 41.80, 41.84. It doesn't like to go past that, so what am I going to do here? What am I going to do? Am I going to take a chance and hold on till tomorrow? I really don't want to do that. And slippage again on the way down. Ooh, really on the way down. I don't like seeing that at all. Not a happy man right now. Back up to 41.72. I cannot believe how much trouble this value is getting, back up to 41.89. It was over $42 for a while today. Once. Twice. 3 times. And then it didn't quite make it there, but man, it was playing above $42, but now it doesn't even want to sit at 41.80. So I'm going to cancel this order and I'm going to lower this to 41.79 just to give me a frame of reference. 41.79 will still give me a little bit of profit, not as much as I want, but it will give me profit. And let's see if we can pass 41.79. 41.75. All right, I need to take a short break and come back to see where we're at. All right, we're back. Still at 41.71. So was having trouble getting up past 41.89, and now looking like it's having a challenge getting back up to even 41.79. Where is this going? 41.72. 41.74, 76, that's good. Ah, you see that? You see why I keep sitting here waiting? See that green spike that just carried it up to 41.82 again? We're past my 41.79, and with that sharp green spike there on that buy, it makes me not want to sell them at 41.79 just in case that friggin' activity keeps going at this late day, at this late time in the afternoon. 41.80. I'm hoping maybe it can go back up past 41.89 again, maybe even over $42 before the end of the afternoon. I've passed on at least 3 or 4 selling opportunities now, but I keep lowering my expectation instead of raising them, and I'm not happy with that. 41.74. After an entire day of holding these shares, now granted, I was the one that screwed up and bought them on the way down before we hit the bottom of the day. Otherwise, I'd be sitting in an entirely different position right now. I believe that the woman I am connected with who is trading has told me that she's made $1,000 a couple of times over so far today. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here waiting for a single transaction that I bought at the wrong time this morning, just to see if I can get out of it by the end of the day. Here we are at 41.80 again. But having to close this at 15 cents a share, it's still a win, but it's not the win that I was looking for, not by a long shot today. I'm going to sell off, and there, my order has been filled. That is enough of that. Okay, so I sold at 41.80. Let's log that for the day. 41.80. And look, you see what I said? Look at it. The second that I sold it, you see what happened? We're back up to 41.89 again. You just can't win. You know, as soon as I cave in, look at that shit. It's likely to go even higher. Look at that, 41.92. Son of a bitch, man. Okay, right here, you've been watching me all friggin' day, sitting on these 500 shares, hoping that I can get out at what I want. And look at this. It shot back up to a high of 41.94 again. I'm just sharing this with you to point it out because, again, this happens constantly. Not just to me, but to other people that I know as well. We sell out. We sit here all day frustrated because we can't get what we want. So we sell out for less than what we want. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's that activity and that spike. Now, it's already dropped back down to 41.82 again. So I was just pointing out the fact that the second that I hit the sell button, it started going even higher. Anyway, let me calculate this out. All right, so not a tremendously profitable day for me, and most of the reason behind this was my own fault. Okay? I made several errors in judgment today. Error number one was buying in way too soon in the day. I can't remember whether it was here or here that I bought in, but I bought at these crazy inflated positions of 41.67 and 41.40 something, which basically tied my hands for the entire day. Now, yes, it did recover near the end of the day, and I was able to get out, even at a profit, and preserve my capital. But on the way, I missed 3 good opportunities to sell it at $42 instead of $41.79. And I also missed the bottom of the market, which was at around 8:15 in the morning, which would have been the optimal time to buy. Had I purchased shares down at around $40.68, $40.70, selling them at $41.80 would be a profit per share of over $1.10. And on $500 shares, that would have gave me a profit of over $500. And had I sold it at the $42 point, would have been even more. It would have been more like $600 to $700. So I just want you to know, today was not a smooth day for me. I am profitable. Let's calculate how much I actually gained in the day. All right, so I'm at a total of $334.88. $334.80 US currency. I live in Canada, so I get conversion on that. It's worth actually more to Canadians. So $334.80, I can live on that at least. So it's not a total write-off for the day. That is about all the time that I'm going to put into this day. There's no sense watching the rest of the market activity. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to take my humble winnings today and I'm going to celebrate the last day of the month. Let's check my portfolio. So I am now at a total of $50,679, and that is $40,000 in cash. and I still have 250 shares, which I'm holding on until we get up to that 42, I think it's $42 and something before that sells out. 42.87, and these ones have to sell at least 42.67 to break even, 42.87 to make a little bit of profit on that. So I'm still holding those. But that being said, today is a win. It's a $334 win. It's not as much as I wanted, but I did actually reach my goal of being over $50,000 to go into a brand new month of August. So slow and steady. This is session 2 of my $1 million journey. Thanks for hanging out and watching along, and hopefully you've learned some things today in watching this video. If you've subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that, especially since this channel is so new. Every member support is really appreciated. I want you to know that. I will be back again tomorrow, bright and early, to take my trade balance into a brand new day of a brand new month. For now, my name is Edward James Carey. You've been watching my $1 million journey. I will leave a link to the next video at the end of this video when I create it. And in the meantime, I hope that you are learning something and inspired to potentially create some of your own financial success.